Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Lots About Something podcast. This is the podcast where we always talk about something, and we don't always know exactly what that something's going to be, but it's going to be good, it's going to be hilarious, it's going to be entertaining, and hopefully it'll help you on your car ride or your jog, or who are we kidding? Nobody's jogging that's watching, listening to this.
I don't know. We got some that walk and listen to
Yeah, walking maybe, but definitely not jogging. Anywho, hey, we're just glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here, and whether you are watching on Spotify, listening on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, thanks so much for hanging out with us. I am Chris, and I am one half of this amazing show. And I am joined by my lovely bride, and some would say the better half. Christy, how are you doing today, Christy?
Doing good.
Doing good. Didn't somebody today tell you that they listened to the podcast so much that they actually started saying doing good when somebody asked them how they were doing?
I did. I had a lady come up at church today and said they had traveled to Maine, and her husband had already been listening to the podcast. But that she had started listening to the podcast while they were together, going to Maine. Yeah. And
that was Valerie and Mike.
Give them a shout out. Woo, woo. We're so glad y'all listening. And so she told me someone had asked her how she was doing, and she caught herself saying, doing good. And she said, I sound like Christy. I was like, yep, that's so good. It's good to know.
There you go. So then when you get your merch out there, then everybody can just like point to their hat or their shirt or whatever it is that they're wearing. Their Christy merch.
How you doing? Doing good on my hat. Doing good. Yep.
I wish if you're watching this, then you got the full experience of that, because it was like a finger gun and a point to an imaginary hat that she's not wearing. So if you're watching it, you definitely got the full experience.
I'll even put this out there. If I've got a listener out there that does T-shirts and stuff, and you want to mock me up
mock you?
What do you call it?
What kind of language are you using? You want to do some mock-ups and some run-arounds and run-throughs?
What you call it? A prototype of doing
prototype.
Good? Yeah. You're doing a hat or...
Well, babe, there are several people that do T-shirts.
Listening to us right now?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to... Y'all hook...
Pastor Megan.
Does Pastor Megan listen?
I don't know that she listens, but...
Well, I'm talking about listeners.
You know what? You know how we'll know if she listens? If she says something about this.
Yes.
Then we'll know. And if we don't know, then we'll just we'll shun her forever.
Or if you know someone that would want to do a prototype of doing good. It could be on a hat, a shirt, a cup, whatever they want to put it on.
I didn't tell you this, but I actually bought some hats this week to make for my Guido Lose. Do a logo of my Guido Lose. I already got it all lined up, but I had to buy the hats, and I've been waiting. And so I found them on sale this week.
I'd want a specific hat.
I actually have a hat guy.
I won't, because I'm into bucket hats.
Bucket hats?
Like
fishing hats?
Kind of,
sort of. Kind of,
sort of. I'd like a bucket hat so I can put my bun through, and it would have doing good on it.
Well, you make your own hat. So this is, all right, this is why this is a Lots About Something podcast. This is definitely something, but it's probably more nothing. I have to say that this is innovative. I'm a fan of what you're doing, but you take hats and you cut holes out of the top of them so that you can put a ponytail or whatever it is that you've done to your hair.
Right. Well,
it's actually they're your hats, and so when I wear your hats, I just have a big hole in the back of my head.
Well, your head won't fit in my hats.
Wow. Okay.
Not meaning that in a mean way, but when do you put one of my hats on?
Well, I don't, because they have holes in them.
Well, I like to have my hair in buns, and sometimes I like how I look in a hat.
Yeah, you are cute in a hat.
And so I like to put my hair up real high, and hats just don't hold my bun in. So
yeah. But
a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm an inventor. I like to invent things.
All right.
I've had a couple of inventions.
Let me say this: you are an inventor is actually somebody that like invents things and does something with it. I don't know that you have ever done that, but you are a concept creator, and that is very true because you oftentimes come up with concepts of things that could be invented. So I don't know that I would say that you are an inventor.
I have
but you are
ideas of great
you have
inventions,
concepts
yes,
all the time of things that should be invented. At the risk of someone taking your invention and becoming a millionaire, do you have any that you would want to share, or you want to kind of keep them all close to the vest so that nobody takes them and makes millions of dollars?
Well, I mean, if anybody's out there and can make this stuff happen and work with me here,
Right, so one of those things actually somebody else did. It was your idea. You had the idea. Actually, I remember you talking about it like when we first started dating. You talked about this idea, and then we saw that someone had actually done this some years later.
You got getting me in.
It's the lawn chair.
Oh, yeah.
The not lawn chair,
I
but
agree.
the outside chair.
I agree.
So you can tell that one because somebody's already got a patent on it.
So I used to love to lay out in the sun, and laying on your back, it's easy, but when you're laying on your stomach, you kind of have, what do you do with your head, So you got to lay to the left or to the right. And so I wanted to invent a chair that had a hole through it. You can put my buns in here. I guess I'm putting my head down in the hole.
Yeah.
But make a place to put your head so you can just look kind of down at the ground, and then your neck wouldn't hurt. You wouldn't have one side redder than the other, and you could enjoy your sunbathing experience.
Have you seen I know that you don't watch TikTok. You are a Reels person, even though I try to tell you it's the exact same thing. But have you seen the Reels where ladies are digging out holes in the sand and then putting their towel over it so that they can lay in it and there's space for their boobies to hang on it? Have you seen that?
No, that would probably suffocate.
Suffocate?
Your face? Now you're talking about putting your face in it?
I mean, I guess they're just turning their head somewhere, but that would be a whole nother invention. You could do a chair for your face and your boobies. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about all of that.
Oh, okay.
Let's just keep on.
Sorry. I just wanted to throw that out there.
But talking about digging holes and stuff, this ain't got nothing to do with what it's inventing. But did you see, I don't know where it was, I'd have to look it up, that someone found one of the largest dinosaurs in their backyard?
I didn't.
Like bones?
I did not hear that.
I saw it on the Weather Channel app.
Hold on. The Weather Channel is talking about digging up dinosaurs?
Every now and then they post things that interest me.
Okay. All right.
And someone had found bones, so now they're excavating it. What do you call that? Excavating?
Yeah.
The bones with the brushes and stuff, and it's a pretty large dinosaur.
Okay. All right. Well, should we, to mix things up, should we
just a little bit
allow that to lead us into our first segment, which is Weird News?
Oh.
All right. So
Okay.
Normally we would do what's new, but since you brought up weird dinosaur bones, I actually found a couple of articles that I wanted to share with you to get your opinion about. Are you ready for that?
Let's do it.
All right. So weird news essentially is it's what it is. It's weird news, but I am only going to read you the headline, and then I want to get your reaction. So there's obviously more details. Headlines are what they're meant to do. They're meant to get our attention, but we're not going to read the article. I'm just going to read you the headline of weird news, and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
Okay. So first one is this: California baker crafts a life-size Han Solo out of bread. What do you think about that?
Who's Han Solo?
Hold on. You don't know who Han Solo is?
I know he has to do with Star Wars.
He's Chewbacca's friend. He and Princess Leia, they fall in love. He's Harrison Ford.
Okay.
You still don't know.
Okay.
So that makes this article absolutely nothing to you.
They made his face out of bread?
They made a life-size Han Solo out of bread.
Is there a picture?
Right here.
That's okay.
Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can show it here.
That looks like somebody stuck in plastic, like they're suffocating.
All right, hold on. That's the picture. If you're watching on Spotify, I'm showing you the picture of my phone right here. I think it's supposed to be when because in Star Wars, there's a part of it where they freeze him. They cryo freeze him, and I think that's what it's supposed to be. So it's not like him.
That is not what I thought it was going to look like.
So you're disappointed by that.
He looks like, you know how you put plastic over somebody that suffocates them? That's what it looks like. He's coming. Y'all got the plastic over him, and he's suffocating.
All right. So this next article, I know a little something about, but in order for this to mean something to you, I need to tell you something about it first. Okay. So I think it was last week. It may have been the week before, something like that. There was a viral video that kind of came out, and it was a principal of a school that was body surfing. Do you know what body surfing is? So like you jump into a crowd and people like move you through the crowd with their hands and you're just kind of up there. Okay. So that was a viral video. It was all pumped up. It was all hype. So, the weird news is, I think it was like a couple of hours after that happened, he was pulled over for a DUI. And
you think?
And so the report of that is that he had been drunk when he did the crowd surfing with the students. What are your thoughts about that?
That's what I said. You think? I think for him to be having a good old time body surfing, he must have been on something.
Would you ever want to go body surfing?
I wouldn't want people touching their hands all over me.
Yeah. It does seem weird because, like, you could get, all right, number one, I'm a big guy, right? So there's a fear in me that you would drop me. But two, I mean, you're to keep me up, you're going to have to grab me in areas that I don't want to be grabbed. You know what I'm saying?
Or what if you make somebody mad and they just decide, let's drop this girl and just flop me on the floor?
Yeah.
You know?
That could happen. That's the risk of body surfing. All right. This one's kind of strange. You ready for the next one? Weird news. New York man charged. Sorry. Okay, hold on. I'm ready. New York man charged with putting several reptiles in his pants. What do you think about that?
Do you want one? I hope they wasn't hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. Obviously, I'm sure there's a reason inside the article. We're not reading the article.
I hope it wasn't no lizards. Have you ever tried to pick a lizard up in the yard?
I don't know. And it doesn't say what kind. It just says several reptiles is the heading.
Okay.
I can't think of a scenario where I would want to put any kind of reptile in my pants. There's got to be some mental illness there, right?
I don't know. People like squirrels in their pants.
Wow. Okay.
I don't even know what that means. So.
We are going off the rails today. Like, geez Louise.
That's my first thought. I'm throwing them out there.
Squirrels in my pants. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't seen that reel? I got squirrels in my pants.
I don't understand why somebody would have squirrels in their pants.
All right, that's not it's a song. Nobody's got squirrels in their pants. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. Okay. All right, here we go. Next one. 6 women in a neon green leotard attack 2 New York subway riders. All right, so I want you to picture this, though, okay? Do you know, like, the bodysuit that Emma got for the play, like the yellow bodysuit? That's full. It's a full bodysuit. Mm-hmm. 6 women in neon green outfits like that go on a subway and attack 2 riders.
Well, my first thought was I thought you said 6 women in a neon.
Yeah, they
are
suit. In.
So I'm thinking, how are 6 women going to get in one neon suit? So
in one.
That's my first thought.
No, they each had their own. They each had their own. They weren't all sharing one, which would be a whole different sight.
That would be kind of scary, because Emma's covered her head and everything.
Yeah,
it'd be a sight to see.
Yeah,
because it shows everything. Like, you got to wear something over it, so you're not showing everything.
Okay.
So, well, why were they jump riders? You mean like train riders?
Yeah, they were on the subway. I don't know if that was intentional. I'm sure the article gives you more details. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Okay. A couple more. Just a couple more here. We've got some good ones today. Over 1,500 Virginia residents were left without power because of one pesky mouse.
Wow.
Do you think that mouse made it?
Nope.
You think he got fried?
He bit that wire? Into? That was the end of little Mickey.
Mickey. Yeah. Okay.
Were you going to call him Mickey too?
I was
like,
gonna call him Mickey. Okay. North Dakota woman charged after bringing a raccoon into a bar.
She must have already been drunk.
Can I ask this question? All right. This article brings up something. We were out to eat yesterday or 2 days ago. We were eating and we're sitting there and a lady walks in carrying her dog. Mm-hmm. We're not pet people. So I really struggle with the idea of why people feel the need to take their dogs to a restaurant with them. Can you explain that to me?
And you have to notice they didn't stay inside the restaurant.
No, they did sit on the patio. That is true.
They were on the patio.
That is true.
So, but some people carry their puppies and doggies with them.
I don't understand. Like, I am not a dog person. I'm sure
we have listeners that are, though.
I know.
And they love their doggies.
I'm not shaming or slandering. I am simply saying I don't understand that. And I get it because there are people that would I don't understand why you want to play video games. I get it. It's my thing. Your thing is you take dogs to restaurants. I'm just saying, to me, it's very strange.
Well, I told you in Target I thought I saw a lady carrying a puppy, and I think she smuggled that thing in there because there's a sign on the door that says no animals allowed unless they're service animals. And I don't think that little puppy she had was a service animal.
You don't think so?
She was in the makeup section. She did not look like she needed any service, but I think she had a puppy in the Target.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, that lady must have already been drunk if she's carrying a raccoon into the bar. Guess they thought maybe that people wouldn't realize it was a raccoon.
Okay.
I
don't know. So that's where it is. All right, I'm trying to find one more here. Let's see. I'm just looking. Okay, back to world records. So last time we did Weird News, we talked about world records. Would this be and you never identified a exact world record that you want to.
Yes, I did.
Well, the catching the biggest fish. Mm-hmm. But would you want to break this world record? Man in a pumpkin boat paddles 38 miles down the Missouri River in an attempt to beat world record. What exactly is that world record? Is the pumpkin boat the key to that world record?
It's got to be.
Or is it just like an inflatable boat?
I think it'd be a real pumpkin because pumpkins probably float.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Like if you hollow it out. I didn't even
think about that. So there is a picture. But it does look like it is a real pumpkin.
How big is the pumpkin?
I mean,
you can't make a boat out of a bunch of pumpkins.
It'd have to be like an oversized.
Oh, what if he put a whole bunch of pumpkins together?
I don't know. You'd have to read the article.
And then it would be.
We don't do that. Okay, wait, hold on. There is a little tagline underneath this, just to clarify for us. It was an 846-pound pumpkin that he turned into a makeshift boat. So it's one massive pumpkin that he turned into a makeshift boat.
That's interesting. I bet it worked.
I wouldn't want to get in it. What if the smell of it and stuff? I'm out.
He probably cleaned it.
You can't clean a pumpkin's a pumpkin. Like, you can't clean it that good for it not to smell.
I see people cleaning pumpkins with bleach and stuff.
Why would you clean a pumpkin with bleach?
To clean it and keep it from rotting so fast.
No. Okay.
We're not real big pumpkin carver people either, though. So.
All right, one more thing. It caught my attention. Okay. It caught my attention. I was ready to move on, but this caught my attention. It's watch a girl walk an emotional support alligator on a leash in Philly Park. You can imagine? This is my emotional support alligator. It's pretty good. I think you need to get one of those.
I don't know her, so I can't talk about her. But
yeah,
she
no
sounds
judgment.
like maybe she's drinking too.
Okay, maybe so. All right, so that was weird news. Again, not the full story, just the headlines.
Okay.
We don't know any of the details of those stories, just that they're interesting off of the headlines. So, well, let's go to our next segment. Which is normally our first segment, but because we are living wild today, we'll do it second, and that's What's New. So, what's new is a segment that we do and just talk about what is new, what happened, what that's new since the last time we did the podcast. So, Christy, what do you have that's new? Anything?
I've tried a new coffee.
Okay.
I've been trying it for a little while now. You don't like it.
What is it?
Toffee nut.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Okay.
Toffee nut coffee. Well, you told me let me talk about it.
You're right. I'm sorry.
It's good. I like sweet coffee, so it's real good.
I was just going to say, I have discovered not just for the coffee, but like, I like peanut butter, but I don't like nutty tasting things like hazelnut flavored things, the Nutella spread, that toffee nut. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that stuff.
I will say, talking about coffee, when I made our coffee today, Kroger didn't have your creamer last week, so they substituted it. And it was very deceiving because I'm used to your creamer being white. And so the more
it was a chocolate.
The more I poured it, it was dark. It was dark. And I was like, this is not getting white. So it was very deceiving. So I poured a lot of creamer in your coffee.
And that's the kind of life-changing information that you're going to find out on our podcast is that we're struggling with what color our creamer is.
Hey, that's what's new. That's what's going on right now.
That is what's new. And that also proves what an exciting life that we live by the fact that the color of the creamer made it to our what's new. We really struggle with this one.
Yep.
All right. What else is new? We saw baby Cal. So we talked about this last week. My sister had a baby, and we went and saw him and held him. And he's a little buddy. He's a cute little fella.
He was such a sweet little baby.
Yeah, he's a sweet baby. Stephanie's doing good, my sister, and Dad's doing good. They're making all the adjustments. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Do you remember the adjustments to the first time bringing a baby home and all of that kind of stuff? There is an adjustment period there.
No sleep. Forgetting to eat. You got to remind yourself, I got to eat. I got to drink.
I never have had that problem.
Taking turns feeding the baby bottles.
Yep. I remember we'd had the baby for a little bit. It wasn't brand new, but I remember the first time we went somewhere, I went and got in the car because that's what, we were like, okay, it's time to go. I went and got in the car like it was time to go. And I remember you coming to the door saying, we got all this stuff we got to get.
Well, not even just...
And I was like, crap, I didn't even realize that.
Stuff you got to get. You've got to set your time around if the baby has to eat or not. You can't just get in the car and the baby scream the whole way. You're going to have to feed the baby, then decide, it's time to go. So definitely an adjustment.
It's been a long time since we lived that, but you talking about it reminds me of just not complicated. It's just an adjustment that you make.
It's just all new things you didn't realize were going to happen till you had the baby,
So I'm glad that they are doing well.
But for the most part, our girls were really good when we went out to restaurants. Sometimes you go places and the kids cry and scream and you look at them like, what's wrong with them? But our kids, for the most part, were good when they were little.
Yeah, they really were. I agree with that. What else is new? Can you think of anything else that's new that happened? This is Sunday, so typically this is the day that we record the podcast. We release it on the next day on Monday. We had church today. Mm-hmm. It was a good day. I was trying to think if there's any. We're still waiting on the transmission to get fixed in the Jeep, and there's nothing new to update on that. I'll be excited about that. We'll get back to being a 2-car family as opposed to a 1-car. Well, 3-car because Lily drives, but still, it's for you and me, our ability to independently navigate through the city.
Yeah.
And then let's see what else.
You tried a new restaurant this week.
We did?
You did.
Oh, I did.
With the fellas.
Yeah, so I had to go to Atlanta for a ministers meeting. They do that every other year. All the ministers in the state get together, and it's boring. I mean, just to say it nicely, it's very boring, but it happens. And so we went, and then we did eat. So on the way back, we did eat at a restaurant called Papado's. It's a Texas-based restaurant.
Papado's?
That's one of the weird news things I meant to tell you. All right. I'll finish this and then I'll tell you. We'll do one more last weird news.
Okay.
So yeah, Papados. It's a seafood restaurant. It was absolutely delicious.
Is it expensive?
It was a little pricey, but it was delicious. It probably had the best shrimp I've ever had in my life.
Even better than endless shrimp?
Even as far as the taste, yes. They had these gator bites that were phenomenal. I have had gator before, but it was nothing like this. It was absolutely delicious.
That's yummy.
So yeah, so that was all good. So we got to do that new little restaurant experience, which was good. Okay, the weird news thing I meant to tell you. I don't know how I skipped this. Texas Pete, the sauce is being sued right now because they are based out of North Carolina and not Texas. And a man is suing them right now for using the likeness of Texas and misrepresenting themselves. I meant to tell you that.
Where did you know that?
I heard about it this week, and then I saw it on the Weird News article, and I don't know how I skipped it. I totally meant to say that, and you said Texas, and it reminded me of it.
Did I say Texas?
I said Texas. I said that the restaurant was based out of Texas.
Okay.
And I knew that because that's
you
what the waitress told me.
It's like, I said Texas? Yeah. I didn't even know I said Texas.
Okay. So I think that's all that I can think of that we had that's new for me as far as I can think of, at least. Mm-hmm. You did have one more thing that's new that you wanted to share it's what's new, but it really kind of leads us into our main topic for today. And it was a grievance against me.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to act like it's against you, but it's just things that happen in our everyday life that I think people can relate to.
Yeah, so you have a grievance against my behavior.
Today.
It happened today just an hour or so ago.
Yes.
And so go ahead and air out your grievance that you have.
Okay, so, Sundays are hard anyway to think of lunch because we're hungry. It's time to eat, when we leave church.
So the context of that is we leave the house. We try to leave by 7 a.m. Very rarely do we ever do that. But around that time, I generally don't eat before. You generally don't eat before. Mm-hmm. And we typically get out of church around... by the time we leave the church, not necessarily get out of church. And there have been times it's been 2:00 before. Right. And so we've not eaten and so it's, we've been going for all this time. So, right, so that's the context.
So here. It's a task in itself to think, where are we going to eat? Because there's not very many places to eat.
There's not a lot of options around where we live.
You throw out something, it's a no. Emma throws out something, it's a no. So I'm like, well, we're going to Cookout. That's a no for me, but if we're all going to eat and we're going to be happy when we leave, then that's what we're going to do. So we get to Cookout today. You know what to order. I think the cashier was new to Cookout. I think she was trying to learn the system.
That's apparent.
But you gave her a hard time.
I did not give her a hard time.
And I think sometimes you think maybe you're speaking clearly.
All right, but explain what happened.
Maybe they don't understand what you're saying.
I'll let you explain your version, and then I will.
Right, so she's like, "Hi, welcome to Cookout."
Okay.
Welcome to Cookout. So then we sat there a minute because you didn't know what she said, and you're like, "Hello, are you ready?" Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay, so she's like, "Welcome to Cookout," and so you say what we want to eat, and then she repeats herself several times, and then I could tell, oh boy, this is not going well.
In the middle of me telling each order, I had to repeat it multiple times.
And then, so she repeated it back after we thought for sure she had it right. And she was forgetting your burger with add bacon and cheese, or you add stuff to it. So it's probably, if she's new to the computer, it's going to be difficult to think, how do I add bacon to this? If she doesn't know what she's doing. So anyway, she forgot your bacon and stuff. So then out of nowhere, I can feel it coming. I'm like, this is not going to end well. You say, listen to me, to the window, to the speaker. Yeah. Listen to me. And you gave the whole order again. And then she's silent. I don't know if she's trying to make sure she gets it right or if she's thinking, this crazy person just told me, listen to me. I don't know what she was thinking. So we pull up to the window. Me and Emma are looking out the other way. We're not even going to look at this poor girl in the face. And you're trying to hand us stuff. So you start snapping at us and then telling us we don't want to make eye contact with people.
You're handing me stuff. I'm handing it to you. Y'all are looking out the window.
We felt so bad for the girl.
Take the stuff.
It was so embarrassing.
All right, that's a little stretched out.
You think?
I was not rude, but I repeated the order several times. In the first time, I want a junior tray with chicken fingers and Cajun fries.
We don't
extra
have to
Cajun.
Go through all the menu.
You want a chicken finger tray? No. I want a junior tray. You want a junior tray? Yes.
What do you want?
What do you want on that?
What sides do you want?
I want to get a chicken fingers. Is that a chicken finger tray? It's a junior tray with chicken fingers. Yes. Okay. And Cajun fries. Yes. What do you want to drink? Water. And so that was a chicken finger tray. I mean, am I exaggerating?
Maybe a little bit.
That's exactly what happened. And that was only the first thing that we ordered. Mm-hmm. So yeah, by the time we got there, I was frustrated. And granted, she could have been new.
Needless to say, she got him back because she didn't give him all his cheddar bites that he had. She was like, okay, listen to me, fella. I'm not going to give you all your food. And Chris was so aggravated by that time, he just decided to eat one little order of his cheddar bites.
So, all right. So that's your grievance.
So I'm just saying, if you're hungry, don't go through the drive-thru.
I will say this. I will admit this. I think that I am slightly in a bad mood today.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't really know why. Nothing bad is going on. Nothing bad is happening. We went to church today.
You didn't seem in a bad mood this morning.
But I feel like I don't feel like I was in a bad mood this morning, but I do feel like this afternoon I can sense, I can feel that I'm a little bit edgy.
I could sense that too.
I don't know exactly the reason.
You all right now that you had food and coffee?
Well, no, I still feel a little edgy. I still feel that. So I looked up, why am I in a bad mood? Okay. And
they're going to help us out.
I don't know, but it is interesting. So we've actually found this website before. It's called Lifehacker, lifehacker.com.
Okay.
And the article is the science behind a bad mood and what you can do about it.
I was going to say eat.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't want to read the whole thing. If you want to read the whole thing, you can. So it says a bad mood can appear due to all kinds of different events. Okay. Maybe you eat lunch an hour late. You get some bad customer service. Thank you. Or your morning commute stuffs you into a road rage mood. The triggers of bad mood are often dependent on the person and the stresses in their lives. But what's going on inside your body and your brain when you are in a temporary bad mood? Let's take a look. And so then it goes into some psychology and some science stuff about bad moods. What puts you in a bad mood, Christy? Can you think of the last time that you were in a bad mood? Do you think people always realize that they're in a bad mood, or do other people have to point it out?
I think sometimes you feel some kind of way, but then when someone calls you out on it, then maybe you realize that you are in a bad mood.
Does it make you more in a bad mood when somebody says, yo, you're in a bad mood? Because then you're like, no, I'm not. I'm not in a bad mood, right? And so you start being in a bad mood because people think you're in a bad mood.
Sometimes I think your mood is dictated about maybe how much you have on your plate. Like as moms, I can speak for that because I'm a mom. Sometimes just the toll of the day can be tiring, and so people assume you're in a bad mood by maybe the way you speak to them or how you respond, but it could just be, just give me a minute, let me breathe. It's nothing to do with anybody.
Yeah.
To make you feel that way.
No, I get that.
Do you think I get in a bad mood a lot?
Yes.
You do?
I think.
No, let's see. I'd like to know why.
I don't know why. I would.
Or how or when.
Okay. I think that you are in moods more often than I am. Do you agree with that? No? Okay.
I don't feel like I get in bad moods. Now, if I'm hungry, I probably am a little on the edgy side.
Yeah.
And then after I eat, I'm happy-go-lucky.
Now, you are the epitome of hangry. Like, you are the Snickers commercial. You're not you when you're hungry. You know what I mean? Like, that is a very real picture of you. And then, like, you feed you a little something, and then you're like a completely different person.
I'll tell you what puts me in a bad mood. If I had time to think about it, you know. Right. When I ask people to do stuff, and then they don't do it, and then I have to do it.
Do you have any examples of that?
We ain't going into that.
Oh, okay.
We do not have time. But just...
I don't know who those people are, but they need to get their junk together.
I don't either, but I got some names in my head.
Okay, all right.
But that, I don't know if it puts me like in a bad mood, but it definitely sets an attitude with me. Like y'all know my tone, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think, let's see, what puts me in a bad mood? I think when I don't get my way.
I'm about to say when you're not told no. That's our girls. If we tell them no.
Yeah, when I don't get my way, I think that puts me in a bad mood.
And, I think that's...
Or the other thing, before you say that, the other thing so I don't forget about it is when I have an expectation of something happening, it's my expectation.
Same.
It's my expectation.
I agree.
But then somebody doesn't do what I expect, whether I verbalized it or I did not verbalize it. If you don't do it what I expected, I get in a bad mood about that.
I just said that. I said when someone tells me they'll do something.
Okay.
I mean,
I said it
I think
differently.
you must have a different example.
I said it a little bit differently. But like if,
I get
great example. Today, we're at the Dunkin' Donuts. This morning early, we're getting coffee. I pulled around because there was a line to create a line. Mm-hmm. So another car did that too. Well, I had the expectation that every car after that was going to do that. Uh-huh. Well, this little Mercedes pulls in, and they had no plans. They wanted to scoot right on in front of the Jeep that was behind me, who was waiting in line. And it kind of frustrated me. I thought about that.
You and drive-thrus today.
Yeah, me and drive-thrus.
We're not going anywhere else today with the drive-thru.
But like, I had this expectation that this is the way it should be. There was no rule. There's no sign. There's no law. But the fact that they didn't do what I wanted put me in a bad mood.
Oh, I know. Because you were inching up to let the Jeep come in behind you.
Man, I tried very hard to let that Jeep
But the Jeep people were nice. They were courteous.
Man, I would not.
And they let the thing
I
through.
even pointed at the people
I know.
And told them to get behind me.
So embarrassing.
And they didn't listen.
And I looked at you and was like, why are you fussing at that person through the window? They cannot hear you.
I was pointing at them so they knew that I was talking to them.
But what gives you the right to do that?
That's what I'm saying. And I think
this is where the bad mood all began. Dunkin' Donuts this morning.
I think oftentimes people can get in bad moods. There's several reasons. Sometimes they're legitimate. Sometimes they're not. Somebody does something wrong. Somebody hurts your feelings. That's a legitimate reason to be in a bad mood. But then I think a lot of times, probably more than that, is we get in bad moods because something didn't happen the way that we wanted it to.
Yeah. Well, that's like children. You know, when they get told no or don't have their way, they throw tantrums. And us as adults throw tantrums too, just in our own different ways.
Yeah.
So
the article goes on and says, what can you do about a bad mood? It gives 4 things. I'm going to add a 5th one.
Okay.
But I'll give you the 4 that they say.
Okay.
The first one is eat.
That's check mark. Yes,
yeah.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Eating makes everything better.
It does. Cake.
Eating good food, not bad food, good food. Really? Okay, any food is okay. But eating.
I agree.
I don't know why, but it's very soothing. It helps you.
I'd say this. If you're in a bad mood,
eat a snack.
Go get you something to eat.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good place to... Well, I think what I'm going to say last is probably a good place to start, but I think that's another good place to start.
I bet you I know another one on there.
Eat. Okay, what's another one you think?
Sleep.
No.
No?
Exercise.
Yeah, that's true.
Exercise. They say to exercise. If you find yourself in a bad mood, go exercise. Work off some energy. And
Does it say to get some sun?
No.
Get sunlight?
It doesn't say that.
I'm making up my own list here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think all those are good ideas.
They say
Sleeping
vitamin
helps.
D is
Sun
good.
helps. It says listen to music.
I'll do that.
Listen to music. Just really quickly, it says music can trigger a release of dopamine into your brain. And so that kind of helps to relax you. It's something music that you like. So I would not listen to country music if I was in a bad mood, because that would not help me.
What would you listen to?
I would listen to some 90s gangster rap.
Because I'd listen to worship music.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. No?
I was thinking of a song to follow up.
Oh. Regulators, mount up.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. That's what I'd listen to. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. You're trying really hard. I can tell you are trying really hard right now.
I was thinking like Justin Timberlake.
Okay, what would Justin Timberlake sing?
Can't stop the feeling.
I was thinking, I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
That was a great album, by the way. That's probably one of my favorite albums of all time.
We like that.
The last one, what do you think about this one? This is the article, okay? What do you think about this one? This one says to embrace it. Embrace the bad mood. What are your thoughts about that?
I try to get out of a bad mood when I'm in one.
Yeah.
Because it only makes everybody around you get in a bad mood too.
I think...
Shoot, that means like, I'm in a bad mood, so I'm going to let everybody know it.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone. Now, that'd be nice too if people just leave you alone and shut the door and not mess with you.
Yeah.
But you kind of want to get out of it. You don't want to be that way all day.
I don't know how I feel about that necessarily. I'm sure that I don't think you should deny it and say, I'm not in a bad mood. I think you need to admit, yeah, I'm in a bad mood. Like, own your mood. You know what I mean? Because, like, some people will be like, yo, it's not me, it's you. It's not me, it's you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just got to stop and be like, you know what? I am in a bad mood. But I don't think that identifying it means that you stay in it. Once you identify that you're in a bad mood, you should try to figure out what are some things I need to do to get out of this. Eat something, sleep, exercise, go out in the sun.
We need to have snacks everywhere, and we see somebody in a bad mood, just hand them to them.
That would be a great act of kindness, actually, just to walk around and hand out snacks. Now,
you see Moody Booty just here. He knew this. You need to eat this.
Yeah. So I'm going to add one more to the list.
Okay.
And I think if you're in a bad mood, you should pray about it.
Do you do that?
Sometimes.
Do you?
Sometimes I will. I think you should pray, because there's something that happens in our minds and our bodies when we pray. I want to read you something that's really interesting. I heard this the other day. It's something from Caroline Leaf. She's a psychologist, and she said this: it has been found that 12 minutes of daily focused prayer over an 8-week period. So you pray for 12 minutes every day for 8 weeks. Okay? 12 minutes every day for 8 weeks. It said can change the brain to such an extent that it can be measured on a brain scan. And it says this type of prayer increases activity in the brain. Let me rephrase that. This type of prayer increases activity in brain areas associated with social interaction, compassion, and sensitivity to others. So there's a spiritual part to prayer where it's good for us to connect with God. But according to Caroline Leaf, there's also physical, like there's mental health solutions that are associated with praying as well. And I think a lot of that is spiritual, and connecting with God helps us to be calm and soothe our hearts and our souls and our minds. But yeah, I think if you're in a bad mood, you should eat. You should exercise. You should sleep. I agree with yours. I think you go out in the sun, change your scenery. You know what I mean? Do that. But I think pray about it too. Mm-hmm. Pray about it too. And just see if the Lord can help you with whatever it is. So I'm when we get done with the podcast, I'm gonna do all those things. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna sleep.
You going to exercise?
Okay,
That was on the list.
That's the one I'm not going to do.
That was on the list.
I'm gonna do all of them, but that one. Just kidding. Okay. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. So hopefully I can get into a better mood. So, all right. Well, let's do one last thing. And we were talking about this, and we definitely think that this should be something that we add to our podcast, but we don't have a title for it. And so we're just kind of going to throw a couple out there. I thought we could call this segment Final Word or Final Thoughts or Words to Live By. You came up, what was your idea? You had one.
WOW.
Okay.
Words of Wisdom.
So, wow. That's our wow segment. Yep. Words of Wisdom.
Bring in the wow.
And so, essentially, what we want this segment to be is just hey, this is a final thought we want to give you before we close out the podcast and try to help you, give you something to encourage you through the rest of the week. And so, what is that, Christy? What is that wow that you have for us?
For today?
Yeah, for today.
So, I was just going to read just a little scripture since we've been talking on bad moods and stuff.
Okay.
And it's in 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 16 and 17. And it says, always be joyful, never stop praying, be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus.
That's good.
So when you're in a bad mood, just think on that.
Yeah.
To always be joyful through any circumstance that we may go through. So
that's good. I like it. Very good. Well, guys, that's all that we have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us a little bit on the podcast. I really do mean that. I mean, I really do appreciate the fact that people take some time out of their week, out of their day to come and listen to our podcast. And so, again, whether you're watching or on Spotify or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, however you got here, whatever your method is, man, thank you so much. We'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. It always lets you know when we're going to post a brand new episode. And so you could do that. You could leave a rating. It helps us out. Helps us to, I don't really know how it helps us out, but that's just what other people that do podcasts say. They say it helps us out. But if I am 100% honest right now, I don't know how it helps us out. But if you want to leave a rating, 5-star rating or the highest rating, if you're going to leave like a 2, don't leave the rating. But if you're going to leave the highest rating, we would greatly appreciate it. And they say it helps us out. I'm not really sure how. Nonetheless.
So once you hit the like button or the subscribe button, you don't have to keep doing that each time you listen.
No, you only have to do it once.
That's just for me to know.
Yeah, you don't have to do it once. But what it does is it moves our podcast to the top of your list every time that it comes out. So, like if you're scrolling through your podcast list, you'll know when we have a new episode because it'll be at the top of the list.
I only listen to 2, so I guess that's why those 2 are always up there.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's all we got. Also, we'd love to hear from you. What did you think about the podcast? What kind of things would get you in a bad mood? Mm-hmm. Christy would love to know that. You can reach her at Christy Lots on Instagram. You can reach me at Chris Lots on Instagram. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. And, man, we just love to hear from you. Know that you're out there hanging out with us. It means a lot to us. It is really cool when people come up or they message us and say, hey, we've been listening to the podcast. But it genuinely is. It is special. And it's always surprising. It is surprising.
It's a surprise when you say, I'm listening to the podcast. And there's a smile on your face when you say it. So it's like, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you
If you're going
to
be like, I'm listening to the podcast, and it's like, it's negative, you can also keep that. Keep that in your 2-star rating.
Have we always done it together? Are there several that are just you?
So when I first started the podcast,
yes,
the very, very beginning,
it was just you.
It was just me.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first couple episodes, if you ever go back, are just me. And then you came on there one time with me, and we liked it. And so I think you did it again. And then I did another one by myself, and you were like, why'd you do it by yourself? Uh-huh. You're like, I want to do that with you. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of how we got to where we are now.
Now it's a thing. Now it's something we do.
And honestly, I'm glad you do it with me. You make it better.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate that. I think I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else.
oh, let's go make out.
Let's go exercise.
Oh, okay, I'm out. I'm out on that. Never mind. Hey, guys, that's it for us. We love you. Thanks so much for being here. And I guess until next time.
See ya.
Bye, guys.